Hey, good night, everyone.
Good night. Huh?
Tonight we have with us Amanda Jones, my wife. She's going to be asking me some questions about what I'm doing or what's the purpose of what I'm doing. I'm taking a peek at her questions because she likes to write. She has to write her questions. So, here we go. Do you want to introduce yourself, Amanda?
No major introduction. Just said it. I am Amanda Jones, Angel's wife. And we have our trusty yellow pad here. Alright. Hi, Seema.
Hi, Crystal.
Yeah.
Hi, Ravi. Good night.
So, is there anything in particular you wanted to say before in terms of recapping? Today is day 7 of Angel's goal to raise $48,000 in order to facilitate the 12-minute RV Convo road trip. Did I get the name correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Angel, he has a lot of brilliant ideas, I must say. And this one really took me back. Most of them do, right? So I do have some questions here, and I know that some people would also be wanting to know the answers to some of these questions as well. So I just jotted a few just for this live purpose. So,
I'm actually nervous.
yeah, he is. I don't know why.
Hello, Lizelle. So we'll just be shouting out people as we go, right? So like, hello, Lizelle.
Hi, Lizelle.
Yeah, all the way from the Philippines. Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Right. So my very first question is, where did this idea of road tripping, the 12-minute convo, first originate? I know there are points along the way, but where did it first, that seed, where did it spring from?
So, big question. So when I visited Entre Leadership in 2013 in Tennessee, I had the opportunity to meet Stephen Scoggins. Very briefly, he was the guy that was sitting to the back of the class. He was actually standing because there were no seats left, but he wanted to attend Entre Leadership, so he told them, hey, here's what, I'll stand in the back, which speaks to his dedication. I met him in 2013, Amanda, and then we did the podcast in 2016. I had 1,001 people on, and in 2017, we went to Podfest. Amanda and I went to Podfest. We were invited by Chris Krimitsos in Florida, and I got to meet people that were on the podcast. And it was tremendous. It was super fun to meet individuals. And I did a post on LinkedIn today about that actually. Jeremy Ryan Slate. If I start calling names, I'll get in trouble. But Jay Wong, and many other podcasters and other individuals. And it was fascinating. But then I went to North Carolina. I was invited to Steve Scoggins' event, Transform You. And just before I left, I put who's in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I got to meet almost every night some other person. And it was fun. It was like super, 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 super fun because it was just fascinating to see how people can contribute from just a conversation to your life, to transforming your life.
Okay.
So I decided to follow up with that by doing this, like going to meet as many people throughout the U.S. for this, U.S. and Canada.
Yeah. As you mentioned, the Podfest event meetup that we went to, one of the things that stood out there was the sense of community with all the podcasters, and I've been able to stand on the side or the background more or less behind this podcaster, and by extension, I've met a lot of people there, and we've had some really good conversation. I remember Bruce Langford, for instance, in terms of mindfulness mode, and Damian Lupo. And those are the ones that really stand out and the ones that I could call to the top of my head. So I identify with what you're saying and how everything unfolded, more or less. So, yeah, power of a conversation, right? So in one word, right, what do you hope to achieve from this journey? In one word, if it's possible.
Progress.
Explain that, please.
Well, progress in building relationships. One thing I've found within interaction with the virtual world is that there's so many things occurring, so many people speaking, so many people suggesting what you should do or what you could do, so many people that have is it facade? It's like the virtual world can create a scenario where it's hard to like distinguish what is real and what is not. And I believe that there will be progress if we do meet people and confirm if what they are preaching is what truly is. And I think I will be able to connect that by the real life interaction with that individual.
Okay, cool. Yeah, progress where relationship is concerned. Yeah, you want to just shout out some people here?
Yeah, sure. So, hey, Nikki, Jamie Slingerland, whoop, whoop.
Hi, Jamie.
Yeah, we introduced Jamie to the word liming, which is a popular word in Trinidad. Instead of saying chilling or just relaxing, like we say we're liming. So Jamie loved it.
He's liming there.
And now he says he's liming in Franklin. Right? So,
hi, Minty.
And hi, Crystal.
Crystal, yeah.
And Roxanne.
Right. Roxanne. Good night, everyone. Yeah. So, my thing is, why not 10? Why not 11? Why not 13? Why 12 weeks?
It's the 12-minute convo.
Why 12? Why 12?
12 weeks. So Amanda and I have been using 12-week goals throughout probably the past, 3 years? 2 to 3 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And the way we do that is around mental, spiritual, career, physical, personal, financial, family. And what we do is attempt to put one thing out there, track it like daily, like just to put one thing. So like, for example, mental could be to read a book a day. And when I say read a book, read from a book at least once per day. What was your mental goal just a while ago?
What's my mental goal? You put me on the spot here. I'm asking the questions.
So there's the mental and then the spiritual, career, physical, financial, personal, and family. What was your physical goal?
Oh my, to get my weight down,
right.
To be comfortable.
And that's what we do. Like we do that around 12 weeks. Added to that, I've done my goals around 12 weeks. So first 1001 conversation in 90 days, 3 months, 12 weeks. Then I went on to do 813 conversations, 12 weeks. And it's working. It's working because it gives me the opportunity to jump in, work on something pretty hard, and then jump out. And my group has helped tremendously with that. My mastermind group, Jamie is in here. You know how we work this, where we've put that in place and apply accountability so others are seeing it. And then we go after those goals. So 12 weeks really gives us the opportunity to get in there, get around the US, and meet people where it's not too much because there are attractions where you can get lost, right? But the focus is there, which is to meet individuals, build relationships, and explore the power of a conversation.
Yeah. So Angel mentioned some areas in which we more or less dissected our goals, and that basically came from Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life. So anyone interested could check out that in terms of goal setting.
Yeah, you could just type in Zig Ziglar Born to Win PDF,
yeah,
and it'll come up. It's a really, really fascinating tool.
Yeah. All right. So, is there anything in particular that you would like to have on this trip? You know, like people when they come to Trinidad, they will say, "Oh, I have to get some doubles, or I have to get some roti." Is there anything? Because I mean, you're going to so many states.
Yeah. I'm really good with deep conversations. Food is good. Like I like food. Food is good. Food is good. One thing I would love is to have my family with me. If we're not able to raise the funds that would make this happen for the length of time, then I'd love to have my wife with me, and which is Amanda. I have one wife, and it's that is what I would love because I've found that one question has been the main question for this year for us, which is what is it worth?
Mm-hmm.
And going on this journey, this quest, the truth is we're creating a legacy model for our family. And to go out there and do it by myself, if I need to, I will. However, having my wife with me adds another layer that I believe, if measured to wealth, it's more accurate than making money.
Okay, cool. It's very touching. Being the wife of Angel Jones. Yeah, and you kind of crossed over into my last question. Like not hitting the goal of 48. What would that mean?
Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, I've had, like, yes, of course, even as a goal setter, right? Like you set a goal and then you get in there and you're like, all right, so what happens if I do not accomplish this? What would I do? What would be the course correction? And for me, right now, for the next 5 days, I'd like to concentrate on only accomplishing that goal. If it doesn't happen, hey, we will course correct. We will course correct to ensure we accomplish the goal, which is exploring power conversations and meeting people. But we've learned, Amanda, that we jump into things like this, but it's not really a huge jump per se. It's us in steps, strategically aligning ourselves with what we need to learn better.
Yeah.
So we're jumping into this. However, the idea is to course correct, reflect, and then be able to go again. And my goal is to go to the east next year, the eastern side of the world, where I've spoken with other people as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, and does that brings us to the end of this live conversation?
Well, sure. I mean, like two things I would like to say.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you to not take the words out of your mouth.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you to everyone who has supported monetarily thus far, and also to the people who have also extended help in other ways. Definitely, we all know what we can and cannot afford. So definitely to everyone, and for the supporters, we want to say thank you thus far. We are very appreciative of it.
Yeah, and so two things. So firstly, I'd like to say that in 2015, Amanda and I visited Dave Ramsey's organization to do a course called Financial Coaching Master Series. And when it was time to return, there was actually snow in Tennessee, a snowstorm, right? Which they said hadn't happened in years. But we were happy because we got to see snow for the first time.
Yeah, it was the first time for me.
For the first time, for me too. It was the first time I saw snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was cold the last time I was there, but I didn't see snow. So it was our opportunity to see snow. But that as well brought with it delayed flights. So we needed to get home, and we took up the challenge to drive from Tennessee to Florida. And that was crazy. It was just, so Amanda, you should have seen Amanda's face. Angel.
We were we were at the airport, and Angel is this audacious guy. saying yes, we should drive because no flights were coming out. And I was like, Angel, you want to drive in this weather? Everybody is saying, and everybody was saying it is not the safe thing to do. But we had to get home. We had to catch our flight in Florida.
Yeah, we had children home with grandparents who were up to there, right?
Yeah, it was like we had to get them. So.
And we did it, we booked the flight from Florida and we needed to get in there in like 14 hours, like the next day.
Yeah.
And it took us, a drive, but it was great, I popped in the audiobook that time. No, it was the other time. But yeah, it was great. So we drove, Amanda slept, right?
I just feel like there's a song I drove all night just to get to you. I think it's Cher or somebody like that. Somebody sang that song, but it's like we drove all night just to get to Florida.
Yeah. It was. I'm sharing that because then we returned.
Yes.
The following year, and we decided to drive to Tennessee just for the experience. Yeah, just for the experience where it wasn't bombarded by a snowstorm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's an example of jumping, cross-correcting, reflecting, and then resetting. And it was fun. It was fun the second time. I had my audiobooks with me. Amanda was sleeping. I was able to.
I drove a little bit that time. Yeah.
And it was great. So. Just like for those that are listening, my second thing is like hit the GoFundMe button and support. Zig Ziglar speaks of something where he says, help enough other people get what they want and you will get what you want. I'm inviting you to help. Help us get to our mission, to meet 1,001 people, which we'll be sharing with you as we go along. But, why not? And, what is it worth to you? It's worth a lot to us. And sometimes that's enough. One other thing I'd like to share quickly. Can I?
Sure.
The GoFundMe model is a fascinating model because it helps people that are sick or who are in strains or who are in a part of their life that's challenging. However, I do think that if we can move forward by taking that mode of action to make others happy, even before they're saddened, which is what we're attempting to do here, it helps. It's like proactive. And that's what we're attempting to do. Proactive conversations that can then help others. Yeah? So, GoFundMe, it's like, I was like, should we do this? Yeah. But it is what it is. And it's going to take a lot of cash to be in the US from Trinidad and Tobago. And, hey, if you want to do $2, do $2. If you want to do $1, do that. But, let's just show support to a dream, to something that's out there, that's in faith of doing, that isn't plotted all out, but that it brings value. So let's just heal these people out before I leave. Crystal, thank you so much, Crystal. Roxanne, love it, she says. Joanne, all the way in Arizona.
Hey, Joanne.
Angela D, thank you for being here. Speak it until you see it. Boom! Andrew Buckwalter, he's in Tennessee. Cool. I want to talk like you. I'll give you practice when we meet in Tennessee, my friend. Wendy!
Hi,
Boston. Wendy. Andrew, done. Get on the road already. Support. GoFundMe, action is needed. Proactive conversation. $1 to 1 million. All is appreciated.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. So again, thank you. Thanks, Amanda, for asking me these questions. And have a great night, folks. If there is any question you have, you can always message us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye.